You think you've got my number figured out? A motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. Wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, if I lose the fight, I still rage against the night. Don't box I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. stop till it's perfect.
Somebody who deserves it. If you put the work in, you can earn it. You and me together could be perfect. Put the work in, cause I'm worth it. And I think I found somebody who deserves it. If you put the work in, you can earn it. Got the kind of body that I wanna put my body on.
Work it, work it. Work it, work it. Work it, work it. Turn up the heat, don't stop till it's perfect. Work it, work it. Work it, work it. Work it, work it. Turn up the heat, don't stop till it's perfect. Work it, work it. Work it, work it. Work it, work it. Turn up the heat, don't stop till it's perfect. Work it, work it. Work it, work it. Work it, work it. Turn up the heat, don't stop till it's perfect.
Welcome to the Wednesday? No, Tuesday? I don't know. Welcome to the Tuesday stream, folks. I hope everyone's doing all right. Monday, actually. I don't know. Welcome, everybody. Quad Bennett, Michael Hassler, Moenep. It's one of the days of the week, I guess. I hope everyone had a good weekend. Go see Sinners. Is that like a movie that just came out? Oh, it's a horror film. Moenep, welcome. Yep, I'm looking at the quick Google search. Starring Michael B. Jordan. This looks pretty good. Schnuffleupagus. Greetings, hope you're well, legend. I'm hanging in there. Howdy, howdy. All right, folks. Let's get started. Let's get started. Folks, before we get started, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. If you want to support the channel, there are many different ways. Keep doing what you're doing. Like the stream. Subscribe on the YouTube. We're at 350 something. I believe 356. Yeah, 356 subscribers on YouTube, so I appreciate that. If you want to support the channel directly, consider checking out the merch store and hitting that exclamation mark tip. subscribe to the Substack, join the Discord to keep up with the channel. We do movie events quite frequently, or we try to do movie events quite frequently. Usually it's about Saturday evening. So come join us.
Nothing more Texan than Friday Night Lights.
That's the heartbeat of our community, is our public schools.
Schools bring us together in a time when we are so polarized and tribalized.
Here in Texas, public education is facing an existential threat. Vouchers that will pull taxpayer money out of public schools and into private schools.
Lawmakers still going back and forth over school vouchers.
That would provide taxpayer money to families for private school tuition.
This voucher bill will eventually destroy public schools.
And that's
They'll give
the
it
point.
10 years.
The new plan is part of a nationwide effort to defund public schools under the guise of choice, pushed by billionaire activists and Republican governors like Greg Abbott.
What's happening in Texas?
Yeah, this kind of tracks. And like, again, you know, these bills that they do in these deep red Republican controlled area states, they're blueprints. Because if this works here, you best believe that they're going to try and implement this in other states.
Will be coming to a school district near you.
Yep.
We're fighting for school choice, which really is the civil rights of
civil
all
rights?
time in this country.
But there's a pro-public education
What? Okay.
backlash emerging in Texas.
It's robbery, it's theft.
Vouchers are not for everybody. If they were for everybody, no one would be here protesting them.
I have been in Bastrop, oh my goodness, for 27 years. My older son was a year old when we moved here.
Tony Malone teaches kindergarten in Bastrop, a community about a half hour east of Austin.
We're Central Texas. We're Friday Night Lights, football games and basketball games, volleyball. The community really comes together around our schools out here. For most of our kids, it's the only thing they have. We don't have a YMCA. We don't have recreation centers and places for our kids to go after school. They depend on these programs in our schools.
In recent years, Texas districts have been facing devastating budget cuts. The funding that the state of Texas commits for each student, the basic allotment, hasn't increased since 2019, though it's likely the legislature will slightly increase it this year. In the midst of all of this, Governor Greg Abbott and the Texas legislature are moving forward with a controversial plan that could eventually gut public school funding. The voucher policy would give families more than $10,000 to use for private school tuition and supplies per child, even if they already send their kids to private schools.
Vouchers take money that could go to public schools and give that money to unaccountable private schools for the wealthy few.
School districts will get less money if they have lower enrollment. In the first year alone, Texas schools could lose $250 million.
And that's the goal, to slowly, like, if they can't just outright do away with public education, they'll just strangle it by doing stuff like this. Death by 1,000 cuts kind of deal. And this has been like the Republican plan, the conservative plan, for quite a while. Remember, folks, anti-intellectualism is a core tenet of fascism. It is important to fascist ideology to be anti-intellectual, to be anti-education, to be anti-teacher, to be anti-science.
As a result of vouchers, and the program could cost taxpayers more than $10 billion by 2030. It's part of the reason voters and even lawmakers have rejected vouchers over and over again for decades.
The first voucher bill was proposed in the Texas legislature in 1957. That first voucher scam was a deliberate attempt to resegregate public schools, to allow white parents to take their kids out of newly integrated public schools and send them to white-only private schools. Vouchers have been brought up every decade since 1957, and every time they've been brought up here in Texas, they've failed because Texans on both sides of the aisle have rejected these proposals.
The current governor, Greg Abbott, has made vouchers the top priority of his administration. But until this year, Republicans from rural areas have joined with Democrats to defeat them.
There's always been this little thing about vouchers, pretty much since Abbott got in office.
Governor Abbott just called for a fourth special session to pass school vouchers.
The fourth special session in Austin came to a close, and still with no deal on school vouchers.
Greg Abbott has put all his chips on this one issue. He's invested millions of dollars. He's barnstormed the state. He has bullied and bribed lawmakers. He has done everything that he could possibly do to get this bill passed.
Now he's got a lot of out-of-state backers, people who are, really pushing this agenda.
Vouchers are backed by big money.
Yep.
Former Education Secretary Betsy DeVos has dumped millions into pro-voucher policies all over the country, while oil and gas tycoons like Tim Dunn and Ferris and Dan Wilkes have bankrolled pro-voucher politicians in Texas.
It's not really Greg Abbott or Dan Patrick pushing this scam. It is billionaire megadonors who are trying to dismantle public education in our state.
Yep.
One billionaire in particular helped change the game in the Lone Star State.
An East Coast billionaire named Jeff Yass, who gave Greg Abbott
Bozy, welcome.
the single largest donation in Texas history.
Jeff Yass is this guy.
The left came up with this idea of income inequality. It's like, what are you talking about?
Jeff Yass gave Greg Abbott $12 million in total last year to get this voucher scam passed.
In the end, nearly a dozen pro-voucher...
Tina rating in. Welcome, everybody. Tina rating in with a party of 17. Hey, welcome, welcome, folks. Welcome. Thank you for the follow, Iconic. Erica, welcome. Jeff's what? We'll rewind just a little bit. Folks, if you haven't seen me before, I am A Difficult Truth. I do the news. I do the politics. We're here Monday through Thursday around 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for bringing your wonderful community over here, Tina. And folks, if you enjoy the content, don't forget to hit the follow button. I appreciate that. And yes, go follow Tina. Twitch.tv/Tina_2. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. Double raid. RTP Talks. Rating win with a party of 63. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Look at that. Erica, welcome. A double raid. Yeah. We just got a double raid. Look at that. Double whammy. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Beery subscribing with the tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, welcome in. I'll give it just a moment. I'll give it just a moment for for everyone to kind of go through the pre-roll ads. Thank you guys. Thank you RTP Talks for bringing over your wonderful community. If you haven't seen me before, folks, Kraken Pill, thank you so much for the follow. If you haven't seen me before, folks, I am a difficult truth. I do the news, I do the politics. We are here Monday through Thursday around 5 p.m. Eastern Time. If you enjoy your stay, hit that follow button. Join us. And thank you, RTP, for bringing your wonderful folks over. I appreciate it. Welcome, Raiders. We are the Horde. Thank you so much. It's me, Mudpaws. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Big shout out to Tina. Big shout out to RTP. Thank you. Just back-to-back raids. Right now, we're continuing this video from More Perfect Tuning about Texas trying to dismantle public education. Reina, thank you for the follow. We don't call ourselves the Horde, by the way. I just...
Talking about.
Jeff Yass gave Greg Abbott $12 million in total last year to get this voucher scam passed.
In the end, nearly a dozen pro-voucher candidates endorsed by Abbott won their primaries. Abbott and his allies have pitched the plan as a way to help low-income students the most.
The wealthiest of wealthy are not the school choice recipients being served. It is income vulnerable and special needs related students.
Yeah, but like the whole point of like school vouchers is to like move the money from public education into private hands, right? Like you could try to spin this about how you're trying to help the working class, but what you're really doing is subsidizing private school. Hi, what if public education is actually indoctrination and bad for kids? Nah, that's just low tier. That's just low tier. Like, you're not even worth my time. Ken Abbott going, you can trust me to fix education for poor kids. Look at the great job I did with the electrical grid. I mean, Sundry Kaunkar, welcome. Like, that comment wasn't even worth a response. Ladybug, welcome. It's charter mentality where the ones left out get the worst education. Yep.
But under the voucher plan, up to 20% of the spots in the program in the first year would be available to anyone, even the world's richest man.
Elon Musk is a Texas resident, so would he theoretically be eligible to apply for these funds?
Yes.
In North Carolina, recent reporting shows that more than 40% of voucher recipients come from families that made too much money to qualify when the program was first created. In Florida, nearly 70% of students receiving vouchers were already attending private schools. And in Arizona, vouchers have drained the state budget.
In every state that has tried vouchers, the majority of the money ends up going to wealthier families who are already sending their kids to private school.
Yep.
And I worry that's what will happen in Texas.
The more money that's taken out of public schools through vouchers, the less money there will be for academics, facilities, and yes, even football. The Texas High School Coaches Association came out against vouchers in February.
We could lose a lot of...
It's vouchers for private schools for those who can pay the difference, and for those who can't, they relegate to unfounded public schools. Right. Unfunded public schools, right. It's similar to how healthcare works. Yep. Winnie Rose, welcome. I respect at least the guy didn't even hesitate to respond. Hey, is this the most cringe guy in the state able to abuse this? Yep. Qua TV. Yo, yo, yo. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it.
Our star players. Vouchers will take that money away from the public schools, which also takes the money out of the community.
That's especially true in rural areas of the state.
A majority of counties in the state of Texas don't have a single private school in them. I'm worried about what's going to happen to these remote areas of the state.
Yeah, the kids there are just gonna get left behind, right? Like that's just what's gonna happen. Charlie Martini. It's like the end of the color turquoise. Oh, Kois TV. Ah, but you can call me Q. Gotcha. Well, welcome.
They depend entirely on the local public school.
In March, hundreds of Texans showed up to testify publicly on vouchers. The hearing lasted nearly 24 hours, with the majority of the testimony coming against the bill.
For those of you who are in the Republican Party like I am, it does violate the party principles, the priorities, the platform, the plank, all of it.
If you truly cared about the people of this state, you would not waste our time and our tax dollars on another voucher scam.
This bill is a skunk that we're trying to pass off as a kitty cat. What a load of garbage.
Pro-voucher lawmakers are also facing more.
Like it's been seen in other fields and other parts of English-speaking world. You leave this job to be done by the private sector in poor regions. The job doesn't get done. 100%. 100%. Right? And like with things like public education, that's not something that like we can really have as a society. It's exactly the same with trying to privatize like the postal service as an example. PB Pilot, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that.
Pushback than ever before. A recent poll found that nearly 2/3 of Texas voters oppose vouchers, including 70% of public school parents.
Looking at the masses of people that showed up at the Capitol yesterday, I really feel like people are tired of not being heard. I believe that our governor and several of his representatives feel like they are insulated and that they have managed to get reelected over and over again. But I believe that in doing what they're doing against the will of the people of this state, I think it's going to come back and bite them.
We all have to stand together, regardless of what state we're in, to protect this project of public schooling. If we're not careful, and if we don't defend and improve upon this project, we could see public education disappear in states like Texas.
Yeah, that's like the goal, right? That's like the ultimate goal, is to make public education disappear. Again, like a core tenet of fascism is anti-intellectualism, right? Trump's first head of Department of Education was the daughter of the guy who invented the light switcher car vanity mirrors in like the 70s or 80s and made billions. Ah, yes. That's who I would pick to lead the Department of Education. Makes sense.
And across the country.
Thank you so much for watching our video.
Good stuff. More Perfect Union does like very, very, very good work. Now it's the co-owner of WWE. Yep. Or I think is she McMahon? Is she still like or was the CEO of WWE? before she got like the job of the head of the Department of Education. I think she was still the CEO, right? Or no? Oh no, she was president until 2009. Not sure her role exactly. I mean, I just like did a quick Wikipedia search, and it seems like she was the president of that until 2009. Oh, Betsy DeVos. Oh yeah, she was specifically actually put because of her advocacy for school vouchers, and the same thing with Linda McMahon. Now it's owned by like a hedge fund. Like, isn't everything owned by a hedge fund at this point?
Should we play this clip from Chuck Schumer, or we'll wait for...
Do you want to do it in the fun app, or you want to do it now?
Let's do it.
Now?
I know, this is too fun. It's Friday.
We will win. We will win.
Come on.
Can't delay the Chuck Schumer gratification.
Yeah, yes. This is it.
We're going to be very aroused.
Oh, good Lord. Because they're both saying what Coke wants. Yep.
Folks are going to get aroused with this clip, and I'm putting you on notice right now. One thing you should know going into this, I don't know if they're still roommates in Washington, D.C., but Durbin and Schumer were roommates.
Literally.
In D.C.
Yeah.
You know, maybe
they're doing like a bunk situation.
I don't know if they had bunk beds or, you know, it was more like The Odd Couple. But when they first came to D.C., they were roommates. And there was some talk that like they may have been rivals to follow Harry Reid on some level. Dick Durbin has announced his retirement. Now, I think Durbin is a little bit older than Chuck Schumer.
He is, yeah. But this is a big one because he was one of the 10 that voted for the dirty continuing resolution, right? Durbin was one of those 10. Can we just double check and fact check that, Russ? If that voted with Schumer to keep the government open. But and everybody there was not up for re-election in 2026 or retiring like he in New Hampshire, and now Durbin formally announced it. But it was speculated because he's literally 80 years old.
And here is Chuck Schumer asked if, dude, now that you have no roommate, what are you doing?
And I think it's time for me to pass the torch on to another candidate.
But how...
Oh man!
Have you given any thought to a more specific timeline when it happened? To a more the torch yourself? Are you even giving that some thought right now?
Right now, I am focused on showing the American people how bad Trump's economics are for them, how he is putting our democracy at risk, and I am totally focused on that.
Yeah. By the way, the totally focusing on fighting fascism is writing a strongly worded letter. I am literally not kidding. That is what the Democratic Party has decided to do. Miss Casania, welcome. Like, I wish I was joking about that, but I'm not. F? Is the stream okay? CIA, you got tariffed? Did ADT get CIA'd? No, we're good. We're good. Stream's good. Okay. So anyways, yeah. So like, what Chuck Schumer means by by fighting for our democracy and fighting against Trump, is literally writing a strongly worded letter. Like, that's not even a meme at this point. We're back. Okay, cool. Stream is okay? Excellent. All right. Like, I wish I was kidding, but I'm not.
Strong question. It's going to hurt every American. It's going to hurt the kids at the universities who've had nothing to do with protesting, but it's also going to hurt the kind of medical research and other kinds of great research that is done at Harvard and other universities. So we sent him a very strong letter just the other day, asking 8 very strong questions about why this isn't just a pretext.
Well, you'll let us know if you get a response to that letter. I do want to say, you said you hope that
I will.
that this is taught.
It's going to hurt every American. It's going to hurt.
Yep. Strongly worded letter keeping you big as hell. No joke, a letter. I wasn't joking. Like, it was literally like not a meme. I wish I could be like joking about this, right? To kind of like throw shade, but like strongly worded letter keep no joking, like not a I wish joking and like but like, and it's actually quite terrifying the more you think about it.
As you said, I was out on Long Island today. I have visited all 6
the Baileys.
6 of the 7 Republican congressional districts, talking about tariffs, talking about the economy, talking about how bad cutting Medicaid would be, particularly in our rural areas. That's my focus.
And I think it's time.
Now, I have a couple of issues.
Yeah, so folks, it looks like Twitch is having some issues. So if the stream kind of like goes up and down, so be it. It seems like Twitch is really like going on and off. So yeah, it's just acting really weird. I'm looking at it on my end. I see what you guys are saying. Heat, how's it going? Schumer's too old and decrepit to do anything anymore, I guess. Time to get him out. Yep. Tariffed again. Yeah, Grandma's charm. Kirkenstein's Monsters, welcome. Yeah, just bear with me, folks. Twitch is having some issues, I guess. If it continues, we do have the YouTube live stream, which should be okay. I don't know why Twitch keeps going in and out, but it's on Twitch's end. Operation Doge lib lag. I thought it was weather on your end. We're getting rain all day. Oof. No, funny enough, this time it's actually Twitch. Like, it's not me. Okay, the OBS is working just fine. The internet seems to be okay. It just seems to be like Twitch. In fact, it like resets the connection I just watched it do that before the stream kind of hiccuped. That's just what Doge calls us. So Life, welcome. Yeah, feel free to just hop in on YouTube if it's giving more issues, or stay on. I mean, it's fine.
Issues with this, not surprising. I think this is an uncontroversial statement. The question of anti-Semitism has been the biggest fig leaf and cover and mechanism for the most authoritarian, to this date, authoritarian machinations by the Trump administration. You have people who are disappeared. You have people who are arrested without warrants. Mahmoud Khalil arrested without warrants. You have universities defunded. You have an attempt to have a consent decree over Columbia, all in the name of fighting anti-Semitism. And Chuck Schumer's biggest tour so far of this year, to the extent that it wasn't canceled, was on his anti-Semitism book.
Reinforcing the framing of the fascist Trump administration as it locks up student activists for their speech. That is what the opposition leader of the Democrats was doing. And he may have some more liberal veneer on it, and he may give some lip service to the Palestinian.
Yeah, but like, I mean, like I said, the function of an opposition party is, and you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but like the function of the opposition party is to like be an opposition, right? So yeah, there's a peppering of people in the Breaking Points comments yelling at anyone that has a bad thing to say about anything happening right now in the U.S. YouTube is better, but Twitch does have better modding tools. Yeah, I mean, modding on Twitch is a lot easier for sure. I saw someone saw some S-tier anti-Semitism today on presidential debate. Oof. Schumer is still a staunch Zionist. Don't get it twisted, chat. 100%.
In struggle or they're suffering currently. But fundamentally, the whole premise of his book reinforces the ideology that a fascist administration is employing right now. Liberal Zionists are fascist enablers.
Now,
period.
I will say this. You know, it would be one thing, you know, if Mahmoud Khalil was scooped up by ICE in New York and his wife wasn't a citizen, you know, if she was a citizen, let's say, living in the state of New York, then one would expect Chuck Schumer, not Ed Markey from Massachusetts or other politicians going and speaking out and trying to visit with him and whatnot.
Five Democrats. Yeah.
It turns out, though, actually, Khalil was arrested in New York. I mean, so he's out on Long Island explaining to people how the tariffs are going to hurt them.
Chats have been dead today. I wonder what people are preoccupied with. I have no idea. Case of the Mondays, maybe. Refresh, yeah. If you're having issues, refresh. If the stream goes down, just hit that refresh button. It's us anti-genocide peeps that are anti-Semitic. Yep, Braun said that the Jews have too much to say. Poland's getting Judaized. The Talmud. That is Nazi shit. That is literally like Nazi. Like that is classic Nazi shit. No doubt. Wow, like that is actually being said by a Polish politician. That is wild. Sassy Sasserai, welcome. Like that is like, that is as Nazi as it gets. Okay? Like that's the kind of stuff you see like on 4chan. The Canadians are doing their election, so maybe. To be fair, at least he got condemned. At least he condemned the Gaza genocide. Yeah, but the reason why a Nazi would be condemning the Gaza genocide is to like shoehorn in like being anti-Semitic, right? Like, he's not doing it because he cares about the lives of Palestinian people. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Which I'm sorry. The idea that if I was not going to rerun election, I wouldn't be able to vote. Let's just like parse
Can't
this
you do
out.
both?
No, wait. Okay. If you're running for re-election, isn't that a split focus on your number one mission of telling how bad the economy is? It seems to me that Dick Durbin announces now so that it's not a distraction and he can do more of his work and focus on his work. Like, imagine if Chuck Schumer did not have to go hat in hand time and time again to...
Oh, erase that again? Yeah. I mean, if you see it, just hit that refresh button. He's self-proclaimed traditional Catholic monarchist. Yeah, that's just a Nazi. Anytime you see those kind of people, it's just a Nazi. It's just a Nazi. Spain and Portugal got their power knocked out. I don't know if many people were from there. Yeah, I heard about that. That's wild.
To Facebook or Meta or to all these people on Wall Street. Imagine if he didn't have to do that. If we could take that off his place and really allow him to focus. We really allowed him to focus. Like, how does even a reporter asking him this question not see the contradiction? Wait, running for re-election is not splitting your focus at all?
Yeah.
Like, give me a break. Like, answer the question. Just say, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I would say maybe the stump, like, there's different things you have to do, Chuck. There's the stump speech in Long Island or wherever, and there is the long-term strategy for your party.
Yeah.
Those are two things you should be able to juggle at the same time.
The leader of the Democrats in the Senate. I just want to remind people about that. Not that he's acting like a leader. I mean, Chris Van Hollen pantsed this dude. Yeah. Like, I mean, that's how it's done. And I don't know who the next leader of the Democrats will be in the Senate. Chuck Schumer's on borrowed time, but Van Hollen definitely threw his hat in the ring with that. And like, even if he doesn't end up being in leadership, the point is that Schumer got embarrassed.
Yeah, we need the opposition party to do opposition stuff. If they're not going to be bothered to do opposition stuff, then they need to step aside or be primaried out. It's really that simple. %, restored. Not sure on when the rest is supposed to come back online. Jeez. I just received a notice that states a new policy will go into effect on 5/0 of 2025. Thanks for the clarification. Sounds legit.
By somebody who actually decided to use the bully pulpit to oppose Donald Trump and to demonstrate it and do so with action. And now you see other Democrats following.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m.
I guess that's April 30th. Is it the millisecond, the nanosecond before it turns to May 1st? Is that what 5/0 means? It's year 0 from Pol Pot. Dispensary time machine. There you go. You might have to reach 88 miles per hour in a DeLorean to go get to go get your pot. May the world ends in May like the Mayans predicted. Okay, I'm over here now. Twitch be too unstable. Alright, well, hopefully it works. Great Scott! Kralia, welcome. That was several years ago. Oh, that's true. 2012 was exactly 13 years ago. Who knows? Maybe it wasn't 2012. Maybe it was 20... Maybe the prophecy was 2025. My job is to keep the left pro-Israel, Chuck Schumer. Yeah, and also buy my book. I say it's a testament to the quality of their bud. True. On another note, India and Pakistan keep exchanging fire over the border. Yeah, I heard about that. It looks like it's pretty serious. Given that these are nuclear powers, I hope that cooler heads prevail, but I don't know. It seems pretty, it seems pretty, not good. Not great. Is it a border dispute? Good question. I mean, that area, I think, didn't it start because there was like a terroristic attack? Right? Or am I confusing regions? I don't know. That area always has like some border disputes, but I don't think it's gotten like this. Where they're actually like trading like lead. That I don't think it's gotten that bad. It's a pretty serious escalation. There was a terror attack on Kashmir and suspects were chased back to Pakistan. Yeah, okay, there you go. See? I vaguely remember to the origin of that. Apple just moved a bunch of manufacturing from China to India. Oof. We don't cover much international stuff here for a reason. Yep. Built by Irish prisoners, probably quite difficult to get a DeLorean up to 88. Israel relies on anti-Semitism and war in the Middle East to justify its existence. True. India has shut down the river water supply to Pakistan and prepares to renounce a ceasefire treaty. Well, that's cool. That's cool. That's great. That's great. India and Pakistan's complex relation is rooted in the 1947 partition of British India, leading to a violent exchange of populations and a struggle for control of the Kashmir region. Gotcha. That makes sense. That makes sense why this terrorist attack might have ignited this. I want some butter chicken. Sounds good, honestly. That sounds good. Great Shin will be the main ones complaining when immigrants and refugees show up. True. And garlic naan? No, I'm gonna veto that one. I'm gonna veto that one. I'm sorry, I'm not a big garlic person. Apparently, Pakistan has a plan to use nukes on Indian aircraft carriers if shit escalates. I mean, why not? Right? Like, why not? Sure. Let's throw nuclear war as part of like maybe a 2025, icing on the poop cake. Okay, why not? Sure, why not? Why not? Why not? let's just add the threat of like two nuclear powers going to war with each other. Yeah, sure, why not? Garlic is life usually. I'm not a big garlic fan. Look, you can put a little bit of garlic and I'll be all right. But like, yeah. First nuclear war since history. Let's go. As much as current events disgust me, I'm a 50-year-old man. I can't be too depressed these days. Weed is finally legal. Cheesy garlic Texas toast is amazing. Okay, but like that's like, well, normal. Yeah, actually, yeah, Texas toast is pretty good. I think my high post everyone might have gotten lost in the sauce, but I came in hot with that today because I was trying to make polite on my weekly goal. That's garlic because of vampires. Texas toast is a thing of beauty. I agree. Anything to get cheese and bread into my mouth. I agree. I watched the movie Threads and I'm terrified of that. Texas toast is a thing of beauty. I agree. Did I mention Pakistan is supported by China and India while India by America and Russia? Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, this is cool. Very cool. Like I said, screw it. Why not, right? Let's just add, the specter of nuclear war to the list, right? I mean, sure. Texas toast, garlic, cheese bread, and now I have the munchies. Nice. This all sounds very freaking good, by the way. Alright, folks, let's focus. Trump melts down over plummeting popularity, say the posters are criminals. Okay, this is more to just like meme on Trump, okay? Because we need a deeply like unserious story, okay, to break up the actual serious stories, okay? This is just like a point and laugh kind of thing, more than anything. Like the only serious thing about this is to like point out that like it's very obvious that Trump doesn't believe in the First Amendment and is angry that like pollsters are conducting polls and they're showing data that he doesn't like. But yeah. I had a bad experience with sausage and forever ruined sausage for me, particularly fennel seeds. They never bothered me until I lived with an ex-mom who used a ton of it. Oof. Excuse me. What happens during and after nukes drop on Britain? You start your IRL playthrough of Fallout. That's what happens. You like open up the cutscenes to your very own Fallout playthrough. That's what happens. You ever had the Cheddar Bay biscuits? I think they're fine, but I also think they're overrated. Nope, never had it. It's the end of the world as we know it. If nukes dropped on Britain, probably not much would change. Oh, just the entire world. If nukes drop on Britain, like, nukes drop everywhere. Right? Because, like, Britain's gonna respond to whoever nuked it. So on and so forth. Oi, mate, do you have a license for that nuke? I accidentally overused garlic and it's not great. I mean, like, yeah, too much garlic, honestly, is not... I'm okay with garlic as, like, a small, like, light kind of added flavor, but yeah. Not a big fan. Like, if you put it on Texas toast, like how it's intended, then like, okay, I'm okay with that. If you just use a small amount of garlic, I'm okay with that. What happened with the asteroid and the magnetic poles reversing? I don't know. It's so much worse fallout as a paradise compared to reality. That's true. That's a fair point. All right. Let's focus, folks. Too much garlic is not a thing. Yes, it is. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. President Trump is fuming after a series of recent polls have found that his favorability rating among Americans has continued to drop, in some cases into the 30s, which is the usual cult. In a wild rant today, the president even wrote on Truth Social that certain pollsters are criminals and should be investigated for election fraud. ? Quote, they are negative criminals who apologize to their subscribers and readers after I win elections big, much bigger than their polls showed, and I would win, lose a lot of credibility, and then go on cheating and lying for the next cycle, only worse. I don't know what he's trying to say here, I guess, other than pollsters rig elections? ? No, the actual polls were pretty on point. Pretty on point. Garlic is way older than Texas. No, I mean, like, it's not overbearing. You can certainly burn something with too much garlic. Also, I feel bad for your dates. Garlic overindulgers. Yeah, crying. Still crying. They suffer from Trump derangement syndrome, and there's nothing that anyone or anything can do about it. They are sick. Almost only write negative stories about me no matter how well I'm doing. 99.9% at the border. Okay, sure, dude. Best number ever. And they are truly the enemy of the people. Jesus, man. Like I said, the only thing like that's worthy of noting here is Trump's disdain for the First Amendment. But yeah, Trump appears to be referencing polls, his popularity tanking just months into his second administration. An AP NORC poll released on Saturday and a Washington Post ABC News Ipsos poll released on Sunday both found that Trump's approval rating is currently sitting at 39%, down markedly where it was at the beginning of his term. I mean, the honeymoon phase, man, not even 100 days. But do you condemn hummus? Several other polls, I do condemn hummus. I actually don't like hummus. I know I'm very bland. I have a very bland palate. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jay. I have a very, very bland palate. I seasoned some chicken breast with garlic powder and then found minced garlic in the fridge and added it, forgetting all about the powder. Oh, no! Yeah, chicken nuggies, I'm good. As long as they're dino-shaped nuggies, then we're in business. Okay? Like a true adult. As long as we have dino-shaped nuggies, we're in business. Several other polls last week and over the weekend had Trump's approval rating in the 40s, low 40s, with Americans, including Republicans, growing increasingly wary about how he's handling practically every major issue, from immigration to the economy, presumably his strong issues. The New York Times Siena College poll published last week put his approval at 42%, while CNN's SSRS put it at 41%. It's the same thing, plus or minus. Even Fox News has the president sitting at 44, which is, again, plus minus the margin of error. I mean, like, by the way, like, as I was trying to say before I forgot, no, that's actually a lie. The polls were actually pretty on point. They did not, they were not off. Like, Trump won roughly by the plus-minus range. I'll eat anything. I love all food except eggplant. Not a fan. Me neither. Again, I'm very, very, very boring when it comes to food. I'm very boring when it comes to food. I apologize to chat for your garlic blasphemicationism. Look, I apologize, okay? Rupert Murdoch has told me for years that he's going to get rid of his Fox News Trump-hating fake pollster, but he has never done so, he wrote on Thursday. This pollster's gotten me and MAGA wrong for years. Also, while he's at it, he should start making changes at China-loving Wall Street Journal. It sucks. I mean, like, yeah. By this morning, the president was livid, adding on Truth Social that these were fake polls from fake news organizations like ABC News, okay, and that, excuse me, and that the results being produced by pollsters are unheard of numbers unless looking for negative results, which they are. We don't have a free and fair press in this country anymore. We have a press that writes bad. Country anymore. We have a press that writes on cheats, comma big, comma on polls. What? God help us. Oh, there goes the stream again, I think. I'll give it a second. Dems need to be ahead by +5 to comfortably win these elections. Based on what I've seen, the right-wing vote is almost always slightly bigger than anticipated, anecdotally. I mean, like, it's always just because of, like, I would say that the +5 is a pretty good baseline because of just, like, just affirmative action for conservatives. And also, like, never underestimate the ability for Dems to depress their own base. So, yeah. And we have internet that's bad. Sorry. Why does he talk like a 15-year-old edgelord to quote Bugs Bunny? What a maroon. Well, because he is like a 15-year-old edgelord. Like, literally. I mean, like, it writes bad stories and cheats, comma, big, comma, on polls. It is compromised and corrupt. Sad. Trump wrote in a separate post. His intents are probably 80% hemorrhoids all the time he spent on the toilet, truthing and not drinking water. The president's desire to punish pollsters is not theoretical. In December, Trump sued Des Moines Register and famed Iowa pollster J. Ann Seltzer over the publication of a poll that incorrectly predicted a victory for Kamala Harris in the state shortly before the 2024 election. But, like, are you saying that, like, they got it wrong by, like, a massive margin? Or, like, did they predict that Harris was going to win Iowa by, like, 2 or 3% and then, like, it didn't happen, right? Like, because these things have margin of error that can swing plus, whatever percent one way or another. The last day of Kamala's campaign felt like they were trying to lose on purpose. It really does feel that way. Especially just like the decisions that were made. Trump has also leveled frivolous lawsuits against several prominent media companies, often pressing for settlements that benefit his companies and trusts. Despite the threats, it's clear Americans increasingly think the country is heading in the wrong direction under Trump, and no amount of truthing can make the mask mask the decline in approval. Kamala is one of the worst candidates I've seen in any country. I don't know. I don't think she was the worst. It's just like, it's just she was bad. And had zero inspiring ending message, right? Like, she started off a little bit strong, but at the end of the day, like, it's just, she just showed that she was just gonna be like, she couldn't separate herself from Joe Biden, right? And like, she refused to do so up until like the last days. And whoever was like managing and giving her advice and running the campaign was terrible. In terms of presentation and campaign, I mean, like, it wasn't the worst. It's just not the campaign you need to run. Kamala's very weak candidate. I honestly think Lady Gaga would have done better. Let's promise more of the same to pissed off population. Yeah, and like, that's pretty terrible. But like, to say that, I don't know. It's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. Biden, Tulsi, Trump, all worse. And any given Republican, Carney creeps me out, but he's better than Pierre Poilievre. Pierre Poilievre. Trump floats income tax to ease tariff impact. President Trump floated a new income tax cut on Sunday as a tariffs, which polls show Americans increasingly believe it will lead to higher prices. When tariffs cut in, many people's income tax will be substantially reduced, maybe even completely eliminated, Trump wrote. Okay. Yeah, sure, dude. That's going to solve the problem here. Hey, real quick, how are we going to deal with the supply chain? Right? Like, how are we going to deal with that? Yeah, the stream blipped out again. You know, I'm actually wondering, like, is it me? Or has the YouTube stream? Here's a question. Here's a question. For the folks on YouTube, has the stream been okay? Has the stream been smooth? I can still see there's a solar storm. Yeah, okay, so is that what YouTube stream isn't cutting in? Is that what's messing with everything? Your power briefly cut out? No. It's fine. It's just stream. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it keeps happening. I don't see any connection loss. Can we tear off the solar storm? It sounds like woke nonsense. It jumped a bit for me. I think I'm cooking, so I'm not really watching. Gotcha. I can still see. Okay. Well, I mean, I can't help that if we're having some internet issues altogether. I don't know. We'll just try to power through it. JD Vance shook the internet's hand. Tiny bit of hiccups, not real, not a real bother, but then you get quiet and read, so we can't tell after. Yeah, because I'm looking at chat sometimes. Pope Francis passed from severe cringe after meeting JD Vance. All right. So yeah, like Trump saying that he wants to cut income tax, right, is not going to solve the very glaring issue of tariffs. That's not like the only issue. Isn't just prices are going to be higher, right? Like that's not the only issue. Trump focus will be on people making less than $200,000 a year. Trump defended the strategy behind the steep tariffs in a post maintaining massive numbers of jobs already being created. No baseline for this reality whatsoever. This is just like manufactured reality. New plants and factories currently being built or planned. No facts or reality behind that. It will be a bonanza for America. The External Revenue Service is happening. Oh God. I mean, like, this is unreal. Unreal buffoonery. Bueller. The comments echo previous suggestions from the president about potentially getting rid of federal income tax altogether and replacing it with tariffs or other levies. JD Vance reminds me of Mike Barnes from Karate Kid 3. You have to know Trumpian math to understand it. Oh, hey, come back. Oh, this is just another... Okay. One second. Yeah, I really don't get it. Like, the internet seems fine on my end. Anyways. Donald Duck, welcome. The comment echoes previously suggestions from the president about potentially getting rid of federal income tax together and replacing it with tariffs or other levies. Some economists have raised questions about the feasibility of generating sufficient revenue through tariffs. Gee, really? I mean, like, hey, real quick. How fast do you think the United States is going to find itself up the creek without a paddle when countries just decide to like not trade with us anymore and forego paying the tariffs because they're not trading with us, they're trading with China? Like, how fast do you think we'll find ourselves up the creek without a paddle when countries decide that they don't want to pay the tariffs because it's an absurd like thing and just and just not trade with the United States? Like, what are we going to do with the revenue there? Like, how do we solve that problem? Pete Hexeth gives me Patrick Bateman vibes. 100%. Voxiona, this is Brexit all over again. Yeah, but like worse, right? Like worse. Trump announced several waves of tariffs since taking office, including a 10% baseline and higher reciprocal tariffs on individual nations. Those higher tariffs on dozens of countries were paused to let nations try to make deals to avoid facing the steep levies. Most of the country-specific tariffs were proposed by Trump are slated to take effect in July, barring any new trade deals or policy shifts ahead of that deadline after he paused them for 90 days. Anything you want to buy, you won't find starting in June. Yeah, I mean, I don't... I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, like, have you seen the pictures of, like, what the port looks like? Look. This is some like, this is some scary stuff. Let me bring up this picture. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, yeah. Donald Duck, welcome. Here it is. I found it. I read Nissan and another car company are leaving altogether. Heat 420 is on Twitch. DJI roof drone station option on that BYD SUV is pretty cool. This is the port in Seattle right now. That's not good. That's not inspiring a whole lot of confidence. So yeah. However, tariffs on goods on China, Mexico, and Canada, as well as global levies on items such as automobiles and steel, aluminum have already taken effect and disrupted global trade markets. Not a ship in sight. Yep. Canadian election results coming in 26 minutes. Back to my hidey hole. Well, David Doe, I'm sure is gonna say something when those election results come out. I'm sure. Have a good stream. Hello and goodbye. Well, I appreciate you stopping by. Lauren Boebert had loved her husband as much as she loves Trump. She might still have one. I drive a Nissan. Well, if you need stuff done to the car, do it now. A recent AP NORC poll found that 3 in 4 Americans expect Trump's tariff policies to raise price of consumer goods. At least 6 in 10 Americans said it's said in an NBC News survey released on Sunday that they disapprove of Trump's handling of trade and tariffs as well as inflation. Yeah. Trump's latest comments came a day before, like, dude, him announcing cutting, like, income tax, okay, is not going to change that fact. Trump's latest comments came a day before Congress is set to return to Washington, with the president's Republican allies on Capitol Hill determined to pass his legislative agenda, including extending his wealth tax cuts. Tax cuts for the wealthy. And also, he can't unilaterally do this, right? Like, he can't unilaterally say, like, no more income tax, right? Like, that's not how this works. Again, also, if countries don't trade with us and don't pay the said tariffs, right? Then like, there's no revenue. So then what? We need house property taxes. I disagree with having less money. Well, the government can't operate. Prices are officially going up, and I just saw some empty shelves. Well, I mean, like, it's gonna happen. If this continues, there's just gonna be no more stuff coming in. right? Starting from third and onwards, apartments or houses you pay 3% of its worth as tax yearly. Oh, like if you have more like homes than one, you should pay more taxes? Yeah, I agree. Like, this proposal is just, like, absurd. It's just pure absurdity. That's what this is. Bro. Trump playing 5D chess. True. You know, maybe I just don't get it, okay? Maybe I just don't get the master move, okay? The masterful gambit that Trump is doing. Oh, my God. Heinrich Himmler presses undocumented immigrants to self-deport, threatening prosecution. The damage is done. Look how long it took us to get our inbound pipeline of ships processed. It was backed up for years. Yep. Yeah, and this is going to be like, this is going to be worse than that, right? This is going to be worse than that, and it's all like self-inflicted. The push comes as the monthly deportation numbers have lagged behind the Biden administration's. It's so gross that, like, that's what we're comparing it to, but okay. The White House's border czar, Heinrich Himmler, on Monday warned that undocumented immigrants that they cannot hide and will be prosecuted if they remain, come on. If they remain in the U.S. illegally, the latest effort in the Trump administration to push self-deportation. Get your affairs in order if you're in the country illegally. Work with ICE. Go to CBP Home app and leave on your own. Yeah, no, I highly recommend to like be very wary, because this is how like they find you, and this is how you end up in concentration camps. And prices never went back down. Of course. Why would companies do that, right? Like, why would companies lower their price if they can get away with like maintaining that high price that people have to pay because they need their stuff? Yeah, Czar Heinrich Himmler. Best case scenario is a mild recession, and that's what the experts say. Yeah, I mean, like, it's not the outlook, like, as far as economic outlook, it's not great, okay? Because, like, between the tariffs and the economic instability, I mean, like, it's a recipe for disaster. And it's also, like, we're getting, like, a multiple punch hit, right? Because, they're also trying to cut benefits, right? They're also trying to cut benefits for poor people like SNAP and stuff like that. They're also trying to cut lifelines for people. So it's just like bad in like 10 different ways. And like if you wanted to destroy the country, from within, like this is pretty much like the way you would do it, right? To cause this much instability. Yeah, making cuts to Medicaid. Nice one, ADT. Heinrich Himmler said every immigrant in the U.S. illegally must register with the federal government and carry documentation. Also, like, it doesn't matter because, like, they will send legal immigrants back too because they have to meet a quota. But okay. And those who fail to register with the Department of Homeland Security or neglect any update any new addresses will have those actions treated as criminal offense starting today. He also warned that other undocumented immigrants that if they had a final order to leave the country but remain in anyways, the Trump administration will aggressively prosecute and issue daily monetary fines of up to $998. Yeah, okay, whatever. The border czar's briefing room appearance comes as Trump administration marks its 100th day in office, with Himmler touting the administration's progress at border security. He pointed to a significant drop in illegal border crossings, which have plunged since Trump took office to the lowest levels in decades. Homan said Monday that the administration has deported 139,000 migrants since January 20th. As Trump officials struggled to ramp up removal numbers, this figure includes people deported by the Gestapo, CBP, and the Coast Guard who would have been encountered at or before they reached the border. According to a DHS official, the Trump administration's monthly deportation numbers have lagged behind the Biden administration's, according to data obtained by NBC News. Right, because nobody's gonna come here, and rightfully so. I understand that the situation's rough, but this is not a safe place anymore. They paid $130 million to save $160, and that excludes the deficit Trump is running. They're effing idiots for running with this narrative, but it's all they got. $130 billion. Gotcha. Gajillion, trillion. Act like Star Wars and superior figures, but I would buy an ice Barbie based on Oberfuhrer Bondi to use for archery target. The Trump administration. Oh wait, am I happy with the numbers? Numbers are good, especially if you look at the ICE numbers. The ICE arrests and removals are far beyond Biden. But I read the media, deportations are behind the Biden administration. Well, why? Because they counted border removals. The Trump administration has been slow to release deportation numbers, instead highlighting arrests and detention statistics, which have increased since the Biden administration. Immigrants who were first arrested by Customs and Border, arrests that often taking place at the border, did not account for most of the deportations this time last year under President Biden. Don't be like Shapiro, barbecued Barbies to be cute. Is that what he did? Oh my God. Did he actually do that? I mean, I shouldn't ask. I shouldn't even have to ask that, honestly. It's easier to deport people detained at the border than arrest them throughout the country. Trump has been a victim of his own success, with low border crossings making it difficult to quickly ramp up the deportation numbers he promised on the campaign trail. I mean, yeah, but that's the whole point. It's getting to the point where he's deporting and detaining citizens, right? To make it seem like he's deporting more people. While talking about the Barbie movie, he's such a tool. Jesus. More like Shill Zero. Shabib kicks puppies and hates Barbies too. And hates babies too. Confirmed. The president's vow to quickly deport millions of undocumented immigrants has run up against other challenges too. The White House is waiting on additional funding and resources from Congress. Then the bogged down immigration courts have continued to be a roadblock to quickly removing people who are in the country illegally. At the White House on Monday, immigrants' mugshots linked the walkway around the White House's north entrance, commonly used by reporters. White House press secretary, Jesus Christ, man. Wow. He went to the Barbie movie with a notepad and then lit a Barbie on fire when he left. Jesus. Ali Shapiro is somewhat critical of tariffs. He will disagree with Trump when his own money's on the line. 100%. I don't remember if I actually watched Love Actually. Why can Twitch say that, but it gets censored in this chat? I don't know. I don't know. White House Press Secretary Karen Leavitt touted the president's progress in cracking down on the border and said Trump would sign 2 immigration executive orders on Monday, one designed to, quote, unleash America's law enforcement, ? And the other, another on sanctuary cities, which would direct the Attorney General and Secretary of Homeland Security to publish a list of state and local jurisdictions that obstruct the enforcement of federal immigration law. She did not offer the details on the orders Trump will sign on Monday afternoon. Presumably, they're signed. I don't know. I'll have to look into what those executive orders say. Homan and Leavitt also faced several questions on the arrest of the Wisconsin judge accused of helping a man evade immigration authorities, with Leavitt saying that anyone who breaks the law or obstructs federal enforcement from doing their job, law enforcement from doing their job, could also face prosecution. Of course, I just can't. I just can't give any credibility to what this administration says. So I don't really believe that this judge actually did that. I think that they arrested this judge and made it very public. I mean, like this Leavitt spokesperson said that they're doing it to send a message, right? Like that's the whole point of parading this arrest out of this judge, right? It's to threaten the judiciary. That's what he's doing. If I had to bet, real American dollars, I would bet that this judge actually did not commit this alleged crime. I think it's fabricated, just like they fabricated the nonsense story about Abrego Garcia, just like they fabricated this whole like Tren de Aragua is literally everywhere. Tren de Aragua is taking over apartment complexes. Tren de Aragua is under your bed right now. No. I don't believe them. And Ben seemed a little upset when criticizing Trump. Ben Shapiro hates funnel cakes with strawberry whipped cream and powdered sugar. I hate diabetes too. This trial may be America's breaking point, just saying. I mean, like, it seems like, you know, just when we thought like something else happens. Something else happens. You know what I mean? Like, you know, just when we thought like, oh shoot, they're detaining, you know, veterans, right? Like they're detaining citizens. Oh shoot, they're deporting people with no criminal record, right? Like, oh shoot, they're arresting like judges on like what seems to be bogus charges. Oh shoot, they're literally deporting children, citizen children. You know what I mean? Trendy Aqua ate my pets. All she said was you can't arrest him here in court. Right, which, like, yeah, I think that's pretty standard. That's pretty standard process, as far as I'm aware. Anyways, yeah, I don't believe this administration's bogus allegation. Poggers. Homan and Leavitt also faced several questions on the judge, with Leavitt saying, okay, yeah. Homan also was also pressed on the U.S. citizen children that were removed alongside their mother earlier this month, which we will attempt to go over. He defended it as, quote, parental decision Even as lawyers for the mother say she wasn't given an option to leave the United States. Yeah, like, I'm sorry, but again, I don't believe them. I don't believe them. I don't believe them. It's that simple. I don't believe them. We're keeping families together, so when a parent says, I want my 2-year-old baby to go with me, we made that happen. But he also said, like, that they would deport full families together, too, whether they're citizens or not, right? Like, even though that's totally not legal. They weren't deported. We don't deport U.S. citizens. The parents made that decision, not the United States government. Yeah, like, whatever, dude. You can say that, but, like, that's... I don't believe you. I don't believe this guy at all. This is the same people who are saying that Abrego Garcia is like a terrorist. Then they said he was a human trafficker. I mean, like, no, man. I'm sorry. I just don't believe you. They say that Abrego Garcia's deportation was completely on purpose and it was correct. While meanwhile arguing, saying that it was an accident, an administration. Like, it's just no reason to believe this administration. I wouldn't believe Trump and the administration have told me Elvis is dead. If the U.S. ever gets back to status quo, this will be a dark chapter in the history books. If anyone is alive around to tell the story accurately, they'll whitewash everything. Yep. I mean, like, the history books of people who will write about this period. It's not going to be kind to these people, okay? Like, it's just gonna be like, oh yeah, this is when America, like, did a Nazi, right? I don't trust the administration farther than I could throw a boulder, and I'll say again. The reality is, yes, they did deport these children, okay? The children 4 and 7 put on a plane with their mother, who was deported. The family lawyer said the mother was given no choice but to take her children, which the Trump administration has denied. A 4-year-old and a 7-year-old with U.S. citizenship were deported along with their mother to Honduras last week, the family's lawyer said, adding to the recent string of American citizens caught in the crosshairs of the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. The children and their mother were put on a flight to Honduras Friday, the same day with another child with U.S. citizenship, a 2-year-old, that was sent to the country with her undocumented mother. Lawyers for both families said the mothers were not given an option to leave their children in the United States before they were deported. Right. So I believe it. I believe that. I don't believe the government's account of this because they've lied. It's that simple. Anti-baby, yeah, specifically anti-brown children. Lawyers for both families said the mothers were not given the option to leave their children in the United States before they were deported because, those children are also citizens. In the case of the 2-year-old, whose 11-year-old sibling was also sent to Honduras, a federal judge in Louisiana expressed concern that the administration had deported the American child against the wishes of her father, who remained in the country because he was a citizen. The president's border czar, Heinrich Himmler, denied that any American child was deported. That's not true. But you see, like, this is why you can't trust them. Like, that's literally not true. Deport Trump and the GOP baby haters. Yeah, they love specifically the white babies. To be honest, I hate babies too. No, I didn't do anything. I wonder if Walz would come into his presidency as aggressive and well-planned as the Trump administration. He'll need to be, but his DC consultants would be Clintonites, so I don't know. It's hard to say, Soul Life. Homan did say that families would be deported together. The story is about as surprising as the sun rising this morning. Oh, 100. I agree with you. It's not surprising. It's just shocking. It's not surprising. It's just shocking. B-Cat, welcome. president's border czar, Heinrich Himmler, denied any American child was deported. Speaking about the 2-year-old's case on CBS Face the Nation, Homan said that federal immigration agents have gave their mother a choice whether to be deported with or without the child, and that she had left the country with her daughter at her discretion. Yeah, I'm gonna call bullshit. I hate life, so by definition, I'm going to hate birth and its results too. This is a pro-life stream, okay? The children are from 2 different families who are living in Louisiana. The mother of 2, listen, I feel your cynicism, okay? The children are from 2 different families who are living in Louisiana. The mother of 2, 2-year-old is pregnant, and the 4-year-old, a boy, has a rare form of late-stage cancer, the family's lawyer said. He said the boy had no access to his medications or to his doctors while he was in custody with his 7-year-old sister and mother. Yeah, so that's cool. That's very cool, you know. It's so freaking cruel, man. It's so disgusting. I just read a Reddit post where the dad hates his kids and only sees them as parasites. Jesus. Yes, and the mom that was deported is a Harvard-trained lawyer that knew her rights. Checks notes. Nope, never mind. Yeah, I mean, like, even if she like knew her rights, like, it's kind of not really relevant because they'll just violate them anyways. Like, even if she was completely like within her rights, it don't matter. Also, welcome, Wolf Glenn. Good to see you. If you don't like babies, get out. Excuse me. Life in the U.S. is going great. I just talked to a dad who hates Reddit and thinks it's pristine. Oh, Megastar, welcome. Literally laid on my husband's chest and despaired over the state of things just a few minutes ago. It's good for creativity. Yeah, I mean, it's not great. It's not good. It's not great. The state of things is really, really scary, to say the least. Cookies also sound good. System of a Down and Green Day did some fine work during the Bush administration, just saying. True. Every time to smoke a pack, I mean a bit. I don't mean one cig. I'm a bit of a history buff, and historical mass deportations are a harbinger of very bad times. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty accurate assessment. Pretty accurate assessment. I was just debating what to do for dinner. I'm smelling the food right now. I can smell the food. I found concha pastries at the store again, so I'm overindulging on those. Nice. The move comes as the Trump administration has ramped up its immigration enforcement and mass deportation efforts. In Florida last week, nearly 800 immigrants were arrested in an operation involving the Gestapo and state law enforcement officials. Immigration advocates and the ACLU have condemned the administration's actions, raising concerns of due process. Yeah. Due process. That's a nice concept. Good stuff. Grace Willis, a lawyer with the National Immigrants Project who is involved in the 2-year-old's case, said what we saw from ICE over the last several days is horrifying and baffling, referring to ICE. But the administration has stood firm. Having a U.S. citizen child after you enter this country illegally is not a get-out-of-jail-free card. This is so disgusting, man. So freaking disgusting. A spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security, Tricia McLaughlin, said on Sunday that it was common for parents who face deportation to want to be removed with their children, noting that the 2-year-old had made that choice. The mother of the 2-year-old had made that choice. We take our responsibility to protect children seriously and will continue to work with federal law enforcement to ensure that children are safe and protected. Yeah, that's, like the child who was receiving treatment for cancer, you keeping them safe? Yeah, we don't have Trader Joe's here. I don't think so. Or maybe the Trader Joe's is not just in this area. Maybe I'll have to go, like, further south. I actually haven't checked. Due process is woke. True. Happy birthday. Yeah, with all this cake talk. Oh, it is someone's upcoming birthday. Well, it's June 20th, but it's coming fast. I want that pie now. Well, celebrate, okay? Go for it, Kirk and Science Monster. And, if on your birthday we don't see you in chat, we'll just take care of that now. Happy super early birthday. Isn't Trader Joe's bad? I think it's Trader Joe's. I don't know. Probably. Soul Life. Probably. There's no ethical consumption under capitalism. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you're going to find... yeah. Some are worse than others, okay? Some are worse than others. I don't know if Trader Joe's is like specifically horrible or notably horrible. I don't know. Someone can educate me on that. Both families were detained earlier last week during a routine check-in with ICE. They were in the Intensive Supervision Appearance Program, a probationary program that allows people undergoing an immigration proceeding to stay in the country. The 2-year-old and her mother, along with the 11-year-old sibling, who's not an American citizen, were detained on April 22nd. The family with the 4- and 7-year-old was detained on Thursday morning. When they were detained, the families were taken hours away from New Orleans on the site of their appointment, their lawyer said, and they were prohibited from communicating with other family members or their lawyers. Like, that's so messed up. It's so messed up. Looney Tunes, welcome. Trader Joe's teams up with Elon to harm union rights through Supreme Court. Boo! Boo! I just looked up, it's on a Friday, so you won't be on. Well, that Thursday on the 19th, I'll be sure. As a Christian, I'm committing a sin by despising Trump as much as I do. But God grant me serenity, and if God won't grant me that, indica hybrid will. Amen. I've never had turtle pie. Lawyers for both families said they were not able to reach the mothers until after they had arrived in Honduras. So, like, there's no accounting, right? Like, what ISIS said, there's no, like, real way of, like, verifying any of this, right? It's just, like, trust us, bro. Ms. Herbert said she had attended the appointment with the family she was representing, but the family was quickly taken into custody before she could speak with them. She said that she and her team plan to challenge the family's deportation, but are still evaluating their next step. In a brief order issued by Friday from Federal District Court in the Western District of Louisiana, Judge Terry Doughty asked why the administration has sent the 2-year-old identified in courts as VML to Honduras with her mother, even though her father had sought through an emergency petition on Thursday to stop her from being sent abroad. Judge Doughty, a Trump appointee, interesting, said that he had a strong suspicion that the government just deported a U.S. citizen with no meaningful process and set a hearing for May 16 to explore the issue. I've never seen anything like this, Ms. Herbert said. There's just no good faith interpretation for what happened to these children. Right. So, yeah, and Tom Homan's out there saying that that no U.S. citizens were deported. This was just a voluntary a voluntary action. Sure. A cheesecake shaped like a turtle. For the record, I think Trump is as Christian as Gigi Allen. I'm glad I never liked cheesesteak because now I literally can't eat it. I'm not a big fan either, to be honest. I have one bite of cheesecake and then it's too much. Alright, we got one more. This one's going to be quick, folks. Doge employees gain accounts classified on classified networks holding nuclear secrets. Hey, that's cool. 2 members of Elon's Doge have been given accounts on classified networks that hold high-guarded details about America's nuclear weapons, 2 independent sources tell NPR. Luke Ferrito, a 23-year-old SpaceX intern, and Adam Ramada, a Miami-based venture capitalist, have had accounts on computer systems for at least 2 weeks, according to the sources who have also had access to the networks. Prior to their work at Doge, neither Ferrito nor Ramada appear to have had experience with either nuclear weapons or handling classified information. Louisiana, Houston, and South Florida is the main trafficking zone for ICE. Yeah. Yep. Welcome, Sisyphean task. A spokesperson for the Department of Energy flatly denied that Ferrito and Ramada had access to networks. This reporting is false. No Doge personnel have had access these NNSA systems to these NNSA systems. The 2 Doge individuals in question worked within the agency for several days and departed the Department of Energy in February. The 2 sources contacted by NPR declined to be identified publicly because they were not authorized to speak to the matter about the press. To the press, they were able to directly see Ramadan Ferrito's name in the directories of the networks. The network directories are visible to thousands of employees involving nuclear weapon works at facilities and laboratories throughout the U.S., but the networks themselves can only be accessed on specific terminals in secure rooms designated for handling classified information. Yeah, let's give big balls the nuclear codes. What could go wrong? Why not? Welcome, bipedal meatbag. Missed out on Red Lobster and Hooters. Honestly, like I think I've been to Red Lobster once, and unfortunately, I'm not a very I don't like seafood that much. So yeah. My own personal Christian friends also think Trump is absolute drizzling. Is the absolute drizzling. Shows Christian against Trump needs to happen. Do I have to do it myself? I mean, like there is a movement like that. It's just not very big. Is Bisquick and cheddar cheese for the same effect? Oof. Oof, that sounds really good. If you love seafood, you wouldn't love Red Lobster. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. It was like the Taco Bell of seafood restaurants. Oh, no. Oof. A Doge employee's presence on the network would not by itself be enough for them to gain access to that secret information, as data even within the network is carefully controlled on a need-to-know basis, according to several experts. In February, CNN reported Doge employees, including Farrader, were seeking access to the secretive computer systems. At the time, Energy Secretary Chris Wright denied that they would be allowed on the networks. I've heard these rumors. They're like seeing our nuclear secrets. None of that is true, and none of them have security clearances. I love Taco Bell. That's true. Taco Bell's okay. As far as fast food goes. I've heard these rumors. They're like seeing nuclear secrets. None of that is true. They don't have the security clearances. The source said that the networks in question are used by the National Security Administration, Nuclear Security Administration, the agency within the Department of Energy that oversees the nation's vast nuclear stockpile, and the Department of Defense. The first network, known as NNSA, Enterprise Secure Network, is used to transmit detailed restricted data about America's nuclear weapons, designs, and special nuclear materials used in the weapons, among other things. The network is used to transfer this extremely sensitive technical information between NNSA, the nation's nuclear weapons laboratories, and the production facilities that store, maintain, and upgrade the nation's nuclear arsenal. The second network is known as a Secret Internet Protocol Router Network. Is used by the Department of Defense to communicate with the Department of Energy about nuclear weapons. SIPRNet is used more broadly for sharing information classified at the secret level, information that could potentially damage or harm national security if it were to get out, explained a former career civil servant at the Department of Defense who requested anonymity to discuss classified systems. So, like, basically, they allowed these two guys who don't really have the clearance or the training to handle this sensitive information on these networks. So that's cool. I mean, it's not like there's no precedent for this, right? Like, they were literally in the treasury. Nadia, welcome. You can get married at the Taco Bell on the Vegas Strip. Sorry, focusing now. Earlier this month, NPR reported on a whistleblower at the NLRB who had evidence that Doge employees got high-level access that may have copied and removed sensitive data from internal systems at their agency. The Doge team asked that their activities not be logged onto the system, and they appeared to try and cover their tracks by turning off monitoring tools and deleting records of their access. Employees at the NLRB became concerned, particularly after detecting suspicious login attempts from an IP address in Russia using the newly created Doge credentials. Yeah, not surprising. Yeah, not like there's a market for nuclear information or anything. It also comes during a controversy over the Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth's also use of the publicly available encrypted messaging app Signal to send sensitive details of military strikes on Houthi rebels in Yemen. Hegseth's use of the app became public after the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, Jeffrey Goldberg, was accidentally included on one chat. Last week, the New York Times reported about a second chat that included Hegseth's wife, brother, and personal lawyer. Cool. Fantastic. Folks. Is anybody else tired of winning? Don't you just love our third? Don't you just love our merit-based system? True. You're married at the time in Vegas, but one near me would be a really nice wedding. I'm down to get married at the Taco Bell. So much winning, I'm exhausted. Me too. Merit-based internet connection. You don't interfere with Ukraine's military operation, but operation help Russia because he considered occupied land as Russia on the internet geofence. Yep. So tired. All right, folks. I gotta get out of here. Thank you all for hanging out. And thank you for staying and sticking around. Even though we had all these hiccups, internet hiccups. Thank you all for staying, and thank you all for supporting the chat, supporting the stream. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. You guys are what makes this channel go. I appreciate it. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to the follows, all the new follows. Look at that. Thank you to the tier 1 sub from Beery. Thank you to Tina for rating the channel and bringing her wonderful community. And thank you to RTP Talks for rating as well and bringing their wonderful community as well. I appreciate it. Thank you. It really does mean a lot to both of you, and shout out to both of you for the raids. I appreciate it. Hope you guys are doing well, and hope your streams went well as well. Please go check them out. Please go check out twitch.tv/RTP Talks and Tina_2. Enjoy eating ADT and enjoy eating chat. Appreciate it. Tilde is here. All right, we can do that. When are you in left LOTB? Oh, left past 10. This Wednesday, I think. This Wednesday. I'll make an announcement. Future Pie's good band name. I'll make an announcement to move the stream. So there'll be no stream on Wednesday. It'll just be like me on the show. Sorry I was late. No problem. Thank you for the stream. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate it, Mona. So yeah, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. If you want to continue to support the channel, keep doing what you're doing. Like the stream, subscribe. Follow us here, as some of you have done here on Twitch. Which time on Wednesday? 10 p.m. Eastern time, I believe. 10 p.m. If you want to support the channel directly, make sure you hit that exclamation mark merch and exclamation mark tip. Join the Discord for updates on the channel. And spread the word. We're here Monday through Thursday. Thank you for the stream. No, thank you. Thank you, Heat, for modding the chat. Thank you, Michael Hasser, for modding the chat. I appreciate it. As always, folks, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love y'all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one tomorrow about 5 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you. See ya. Ooh, almost hit the mic there. Hang tight, folks. Sorry, Twitch has been just awful today. Okay, here we are. Okay, I got it. So we can't raid Hildebeest. We can't raid Hildebeest, so let's see. No, we haven't seen it in a minute. Oh, we are unable to raid the chap? What? Why can't I raid anyone? Twitch is being really, really bad. Okay, let's try another one. All right, here we go. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.